Hi, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Bud Rebel podcast, a podcast like no other. Because not only do we have awesome guests like today, but we have some really strange facts. We have ways that you can make money or lose money. We have some cool business concepts. I have things that I hate. We had thoughts, current events, and I don't know wherever we go in the whole thing. But before I go any further, I want to speak to my guest. Her name is Bianca, and we have a lot in common, but we'll get to that point in a moment. First, let's start out. Bianca, if I'm correct, we interview a lot of different people that are actresses. I'd always love to know the story, how you got involved, your first time got into acting. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Oh my gosh. Well, I actually super love that question because I feel like I always knew I wanted to be an actor. I think I was like 4 or 5, and my mom said that I was pointing at movie posters and going like, I'm gonna do that, like trying to formulate, sentences and saying like, I think I'm gonna do that one day. And yeah, I really first got my first acting big opportunity in Hong Kong. Um, like for those of you who don't know, my mom's Chinese and my dad's Italian. I was born in the States, but I grew up all over the world. And
Great.
so,
You grew up all over the way. Separately grew up all over. Why don't you tell us some of the place you grew up, well, right,
oh my
when you're
gosh,
growing
well,
up.
so born in Chicago.
Okay.
I was raised between Hong Kong and actually England, which is really kind of random.
So
But I
you like, would your parents moved a lot, or how come you moved so much?
So not necessarily. I think my mom, well, I was kind of like a troublesome kid. So she sent me to and no one knows this about me. But she sent me away to the UK for boarding school to kind of like get me right. Yeah, so I was like doing high school in the UK, some schooling in Hong Kong. I did my university in Chicago. So like again, all over the place, right? Spent a lot of time
Well,
in Italy, of course, because my father's Italian. So it's like a lot, a lot, a lot.
so
Um,
when you go to boarding school in England, I
mhm.
really, I mean, by the way, I love when people tell about their stories, and we all go through tough times. So it's
Yeah.
sort of interesting, you're right now a very successful actress, but to know that you had a tough time growing up and stuff,
Oh yeah.
it inspires people. So you don't feel free to share that thoughts about it. But so you go to a boarding school in England,
I did.
you must have been really not happy about that.
Yeah, I had a terrible time. I love how you knew that because I feel like in my social circle, very few people pick up on that. Or they kind of think like, "Oh, how lovely. Oh, that's so lovely." And I'm like, "No, like I was sent away because I was like deranged. Like I didn't have a good time." It was also a very posh school, and I wasn't the crowd. I was kind of like the poor person, out of like all of these like Russian oligarch daughters and like just, like African princesses and like a lot of like Asian nerds as well. People who got in different ways, right? I was just, I think, completely troublesome, problematic, and my mom kind of just begged them to take me, and she paid the full tuition and was like, "No scholarship needed, just take her." And it just was like probably one of the worst times of my life, if I'm being honest. But like I survived it, made it out.
Did
But
you did you did you like, I guess, calm down from all your experience? They were like so strict that you did better
they
in
were
life? Is that what happened?
They were very strict. Well, a lot of it was just tension between me and my mom. She was a single mom, so I do forgive her for a lot of her things. I'm a new mom now, so I have a lot of
Yes.
empathy for mothers. Like I understand how hard it was. I wouldn't do things the way that she did, and I don't treat my daughter the way she treated me. But a lot of it was just kind of, butting heads and me acting out. So,
It's trying to get attention and stuff. And that's almost the acting part of you, probably, because actors always love to get attention. When we go to certain levels, they get that. But you going to boarding schools, did you mean, I mean, that made you do better in school, I guess, to get to college and stuff. You had to settle down with like a certain teacher and stuff. You stay there. People see you during that, your family and stuff. You really just by yourself. You meet a whole new world. It's got to be like really different. I guess everybody comes.
yeah, I was by myself totally. I wouldn't say I was like very academically gifted. I wasn't scholastic. I wasn't academic. I speak 5 languages. I was very
Wow.
linguistic. Yeah, I mean, just like being mixed and like kind of growing up everywhere. I think it's very common in Asia and in Europe to speak a lot of languages. It's maybe a little more rare here.
That must
Uh,
be great. That must be great. If you get mad at someone, you can curse them out of language. They have no idea what you said. Oh, what a great
100%.
experience.
That's the
You can
only reason
say
I do
what and,
it.
and yes.
No, you caught me. You
And,
caught me.
then- and if you smile, no one even knows what you said. What a great feature. Like I tell the people like you can talk to your dog and say whatever the hell you want. Dogs don't understand anything. So it's it's really great. It's just a great
Exactly.
thing. So it's such a
I
cool
just
thing.
treat
So
everyone like my dog. No, I'm joking.
no, then everyone's you gotta pet everybody.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm joking.
you come back from this boarding school.
Yeah.
And then you decide you go to college. And at this point, where's the acting coming? Is acting in boarding school? Is acting anything else?
No. So, well, okay, I majored in theater and then I decided quickly that that was probably like the worst idea I could possibly do. I think it would have made me very financially illiterate. So I chose communication. Not that that's like, by the way, not that I'm not like bragging. That's like we all know it's like the easy whatever, like whatever they call it. It wasn't like economics or anything like that. But I just wanted something that I could apply in the real world in case like acting didn't work out. And I figured I didn't need a degree for acting, so I studied communication. I thought maybe I could do like broadcast journalism with it, if acting didn't work out, plus like the languages, I thought, okay. And I did a lot of translation in my life, just, doing what I do. So I thought, yeah, communication can like be broad enough to fit many different pockets and avenues. So I did that. And then I booked a TV show. What was it, the film? Actually, okay, so my first big opportunity was a movie called Chasing the Dragon in Hong Kong. It was like
Wow.
2018, 2017, which like sounds
How did
kind
you,
of
how did you get that? You were in college when you did this, or this is what?
so no, I had already graduated, and I was modeling a lot in Asia. So I think that was like I don't know if well, so I think in Asia there's more of oh, you can model and then transition to acting. I think also we're like a smaller market. Hong Kong is a very small market. Versus like here, I think that's something maybe more in like the 90s. Like that's like a very long time ago people used to do that. I think in Asia it was still kind of happening, when I was around at that time. So I was doing a lot of commercials and this movie came along. I booked that role, which was amazing. And then that led to a lot more, because Chasing the Dragon was a big budget and it was starring like Donnie Yen and Andy Lau, which is in Hong Kong, that's our version of Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise, right? So like what a first gig to get. Like it's kind of like I was very intimidated the whole time I was sitting there, like total imposter syndrome. I have like the two biggest superstars of Asia, basically, like all of Asia, technically, like just sitting next to me eating like the same lunch boxes. We all eat the same lunch box. We all work like the 12-hour, 13, 14, 15, sometimes 16-hour. There's no union in Asia, right? We're just like kind of just
Mhm.
like raw dogging it. We're just fucking going for it. Like no, no, like so it's crazy. We're sitting there. I'm like, and they're just like normal and nice guys, which is like insane. But I'm still very intimidated. So that was awesome. And I auditioned for that, and that was
Did you
really
have an agent? Is it a different like agents to get you all this work? Did you have to get someone you
yeah.
got to graduate?
So it's really funny. I fit into a really weird category in Hong Kong. So even though I speak fluent Chinese, they don't cast me for Chinese roles all the time. And there are these like I would say like extra agents, like, for extra roles in films, like who get like the one, two liners and they'll cast like an Arab dude, a white dude. They'll cast like non-Asians for these roles. So like I've always wanted to have an agent, but I wasn't like 100% Chinese. And I think they were not into me for that. But like I would this was like my weird way of getting into the industry. I would like go to these like extra agents and like beg for like a one-liner. And it happened that this role needed somebody who can speak the three languages. And apparently, according to the casting agent, I was the only girl in Hong Kong that could legitimately do all three languages with zero accent. Now, there were girls who would say, oh, yeah, I can speak, Cantonese and English, right? For instance. And then they would come and there would be these Chinese girls who were maybe born in the States and like would claim that they speak Cantonese and they sounded like super whitewashed. But their English was like mine versus the other way around, which was like girls who could like speak English or speak Chinese, like, no problem, but then their English was shit, right? So I was like somebody who could do both with zero accent. So I booked that role because of that. It was really my language, I think.
I think that's a really interesting angle because
I had no other
again, you
option. I had no other
no,
choice, right?
no, but I think that's a cool option. I mean, you see many movies that have people dubbed in different languages. They could just use you and have
Yeah.
to enroll. You could do it. And so that really that gives you a better avenue than many actors and actresses in a lot of these get into that. I guess no, I don't know if people talk about that, but being an actor and actress, maybe one of the big things you could have is learn a different language.
It was my only chance, you know? I think Hong Kong, again, it's a small market, but it's very exclusive. There's no agencies that like are willing to take on like new faces. It's very nepotism-esque. I don't know the right word for it, but you're a star or you're not. So you're gonna be bookable or you're not. It's or you like know the investor or you know the like it's kind of like that. And like, are they willing to invest in you to make you the star? It's weird in that way. So like someone like me, I've gone to so many meetings with people. Like, as an actor, you take meetings, right? And I've had so many people just straight up tell me, yeah, like you don't have a shot in the dark, kid. Like, oh my God. Like they're like, you're okay, you're pretty, you've got like good things going for you, but like do something else. Like this is not gonna work out unless you're like maybe willing to compromise your morals or you're gonna like just it's gonna be a hard life for you, and like do you really want this? And I'm like I'm gonna find a way. And like so I just was like banging down doors. I'm like, oh, I know I'm not all the way white, but like you can just say I'm like something else. And they're like, okay. And I just like wiggled my way through these like tiny bit roles, these bit character roles, right? And so like that was a supporting actress role but in like $100 million budget film, right? Which then got me a lot more auditions because they were like, oh, that's that. Oh, and you did Olay, Oh, and you did Tresemme and you did these like commercials. Okay. So like I started to get recognized for modeling, for like the stuff that I did, but really it was just like me throwing spaghetti on the wall and just praying something would stick?
I guess acting part of the whole thing is to have extraordinary confidence in yourself. Because if you don't, the
Yeah.
rejections just can just like
Yeah.
make you stop. Or
Yeah, it's
even like just not
delusional.
believe that you have to
Delusional.
come in there, you have to come in each time thinking that you're gonna get this role, even if the next like
It's heartbreaking.
how many auditions did you go through that you didn't make to get to the first one, would you say? Or
Oh
just
my,
like
oh shit. Like hundreds? Like realistically hundreds?
hundreds of auditions before you got a break? How'd you
And
end up in Hong Kong? Wait, how'd you end up in Hong Kong from school in England? How did that happen?
also, yeah, my mom's from Hong Kong. So it just ended up where I could like live with her for free, right? Like
So
that's just
she came back to Hong Kong. She moved back and forth.
she moved back and forth. Yeah, she was a US citizen. She immigrated and all of that. Um, yeah, and she just went back and forth from Hong Kong, Chicago at the time.
What's
Now
your
she
mother think about your acting? Did your mother support you and family support you with this career
I
move?
think I think she has a tough time with like understanding the concept of it, but like because she's an Asian mom that comes with a whole slew of issues. I don't know if your audience, you have any Asian like listeners, but I think if you do, they'll really empathize with me because you kind of have to prove that you can make money. And if you can't make money, then you're dumb and a failure. Like that's just like that's all there is to it. So thank goodness I made a decent career doing TV commercials. I worked a lot. I was doing every commercial you can imagine in Hong Kong, China. I did Thailand, Philippines, Singapore. Like I was actually for like a girl in her 20s, I was making a killing. So like she was okay with that. And the acting thing she doesn't understand because that doesn't pay me as much or as well, at least not yet. So she's kind of like, why don't you just like continue with this commercial shit, And I'm like, that's kind of like
Right.
how our dinner table conversations go.
So when we get back, we're going to find out how Bianca got to the States and where that came about. So stay tuned. Okay, we're okay. We're back, Bianca. So now I guess you're like a Hong Kong star, I guess, or something with the commercials. And I mean, the people know who you are. How do you come down back to California? How does that all work out?
How did I? Okay, so at the time I was actually engaged to somebody. I'm married now, all that, but I was with somebody who lived in LA. And so I was like, okay, that's like logical. Like I will come live here. Plus, I could potentially transition my career into something bigger. I didn't realize I was like such a tiny little fish in like the biggest pond ever. I remember being in audition rooms with like Janina Gavankar and like these just like these working actresses who are bigger names, right? Who have Asian descent. These were like the people I was going up against, and I was kind of like, fuck, obviously I didn't get anywhere. Like nothing happened, right? It took a long time for me to get a little bit of footing here.
I mean, was that so for a while? What do you do while you're waiting? I mean, you're doing so well in here, and then I guess I'm assuming from that story that it didn't work out with that young man that you were
Oh
engaged
no, it
to.
didn't. No, it did not work out with that
So you
guy.
came back, you come back to Los Angeles for
Yeah.
this guy, you get
First,
engaged,
get engaged.
and
We
it's
don't end up getting married.
and your career in LA is not going great.
No, like I
So
thought
this
my life was over. I thought, oh my God, like what the fuck? I'm such a failure. Just the things that I think everybody thinks when things don't go our way. Like it's kind of like fuck, you know? Um,
and
yeah, it
what
was.
got you out of
Hmm?
and what got you out of that one?
What got me out of that one?
And how long did that last? Would you say that?
Oof. Well, okay. I would say I was really lucky because I met my now husband like shortly after. Because good things don't stay on the market for long, okay, gentlemen? You should know this, okay? Fuck around and find out. No, yeah, I met him really quickly, so I was like probably single for like a year. And I was with that person for like all like 8 years, you know? So that
Wow.
was like, my entire 20s, you know, just like down the drain. Met my now partner, like couldn't be happier. So I'm okay, like, you know, in terms of like I would say more than okay. I feel so blessed. I have a daughter, I have like this beautiful family, you know, and all these like these great things that like potentially my career is not exactly where I want it to be. And I actually do a lot of interviews where I talk about that. And it's kind of like I need to celebrate the smaller wins because yeah, it may not be like doing these like projects, these huge projects that I'm like dying to do, but like I actually have a decent commercial career, you know, and I've
Do we know
developed.
any of the commercials? Do we know any
Yeah,
commercials?
I did like Target, did Walmart, did like any big thing you could do here. I've done it, you know?
Okay. So we can see you a Target commercial.
Oh yeah. I mean, like last year. Yeah. Yeah,
Any Super Bowl commercials? Any
I'm sorry.
Any Super Bowl commercials? I tell you, you can make a lot of money being in commercials. I mean, flow is unbelievable.
No, I know. I know, and that's why I just kept doing it. Now that I'm a mom, I stopped because I'm like, fuck it. Like I'm gonna focus all my energy where I need to and like I'm not gonna just stress out about money. But like, yeah, especially when I was single, like and even when I was engaged before, like that was like my way of taking care of myself. Like I had to build a life, I had to build a career. I wanted money, you know? So that was something that I would do and
So it's easier to get commercials than these other roles in general. If someone wants to be acting, or is it just because you have a certain
no, I
actor?
think
How do you get that type of work
Well,
anyway?
I think in life you have to go with the flow, and I think you just like I just take God's lead because like I wouldn't say commercials are easy at all, and I so many people have asked me because there was I had like a winning streak going on for a while for commercials, and I was just booking like everything left and right, and people be like, I can't turn on the TV without like seeing you teach a course, teach, and I'm like, first of all, like absolutely not, like I'm not going to scam people, like I like it's really such a shit show and it's such a random thing like because I could totally teach a course but then I would just be lying out of my ass because like there are moments where I can't book shit, you know, there's like it's random, you know, it really is like you have to like there's things you I mean I guess like there's fundamentals you can follow but that's like free, you can look that up online, you didn't have to like I didn't have to teach a course like that. But yeah, wait, I forgot the question. I like got ahead of
Oh
myself.
no, I did. He said it already. How you got so lucky in the commercial field?
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
you could just, you know, and
I guess once you get it, I guess people can see your face and they know who you are. You can send it to the people out to the commercials.
yeah,
You're more than needs now.
yeah,
Even agent now.
I also think that maybe I'm like ambiguous looking, so I fit a lot. I feel like I'm good for commercials. I feel like they look for people like me who can fit multiple boxes and are palatable and are like pretty without being like too intimidating, maybe. Like I don't actually know like the secret or why, but like I follow the flow. I always say like, if God really wanted me to do something, like he would put me there, and like is it my favorite thing in the world? No, but like I live a very blessed life. I get to provide for myself, my family, all these things. So like I'm very happy and I'll take it. That's kind of like what like how I really feel.
Right. So, but you did have a big role in production we did recently.
Yeah. I'm
Yes. And
I
we
feel
like
so lucky about it.
would you like to talk about that role, how you prepared for it, what was it like for you? And
Yeah. Well, Jaren, okay. So I feel like I saw a lot of myself in her, if I'm gonna be honest. So the relationship I referred to, the engagement, I was actually cheated on, like pretty ruthlessly, pretty awfully. And so I know exactly what that's like. I also know what it's like to lose yourself in a relationship and lose yourself just as a person. Like I lost myself in that relationship, but I feel like with Jaren, I see her losing herself with Tony, and it's kind of like I found myself when I first got the script. I was like, pick yourself up. I was trying to be like, you know what I mean? I was kind of like, no, what do you mean you keep making him soup? Like this guy's like he doesn't like you? But at the same time, I didn't want to be too hard on her because like I was there before and I really understand losing yourself and once you go down that rabbit hole, it's really really hard to pick yourself back up. And like to play devil's advocate, and by the way, I like do not condone or like tolerate cheating and like I think like Tony's character, I'm not saying that he was right in any way, but
tell a
like
story.
but I think when you lose yourself, you don't inspire the people around you. And I felt like he just lost that spark and inspiration, if that makes sense, in her. It didn't seem like she had footing of who she was. She didn't have a strong foundation. I think, if she were to, I don't think it would have turned out this way, like how it ended up, right? Um, yeah,
But the idea of the
think
show, the idea of you playing an individual who's battling issues of, let's say, mental illness and
yeah.
battling the idea, which
Yeah.
which reflects in her confidence level and reflects on her fear of being alone and all that stuff. Does any of that relate to you, or did you see that in other people when you brought that to the role?
I mean, I definitely have seen that in other people. I don't think I'm pretty blessed in the sense I don't think I was ever like really in her position of being like fully depressed. I don't think I can put myself in those shoes necessarily, but I've seen what it does to people. It can just ruin your life. It also makes you more like tolerant to things, that like you wouldn't somebody with stronger boundaries just wouldn't tolerate, right? Um, so I felt like again, like looking at the script, I was kind of like, pick yourself up. But I think we've all been. I don't. Have you been cheated on?
It's a
I'm
great
sure.
question. I don't know.
Oh, so
I'm
but
not-
that's actually good if you don't know. That means you don't know.
I had no
Ignorance is
idea.
bliss.
It's just totally bliss. I have
That's
no
actually good.
problem.
You don't know. I fucking knew, and you don't want to know. Yeah, girl.
Great
Well, I
question.
I was sent screenshots. Like that shit was gnarly. Like you don't want to know. So if you didn't know, I think you're
Well, she doesn't honor a story, but we'll get into that later on. But the idea of the story, yeah, that was another big part about that. And it's a whole different thing when you're doing a podcast where you get to like not have to worry so much about, standing and trying to visually do
yeah.
that. And now you just have to do it through voice and you have the lines in front of you. So it's
And
how
I
do you
don't
feel
hear
about
whoever like I didn't this was actually my first like audio podcast job. I didn't realize like that there's no one next to me. So I have to just assume that I'm reacting correctly. If that makes sense. That was actually pretty challenging if I'm being honest. Because I have the way it is in my mind, played out in my mind, but I don't know necessarily what that what Tony or whoever it is I'm talking to, right, is sounding like. So do I sound crazy? Like I'm thinking, I was a little insecure. I was kind of like, do I sound crazy saying it like that? I don't know. I had to try not to second guess myself, you know?
You did a great job. Really, people are going to be amazed what you did. So I'm
Thank
looking forward to that. All right, we got some strange facts. Other people will be disappointed. I got to give you some weird facts here. You ready?
you. Uh-oh,
On
I'm
Flight
scared.
626, this is pretty wild. Just one survivor of the plane crash happened. She was a 12-year-old girl who clung onto the wreckage for 13 hours. Just one person. Yeah, it's about being religious. One person, all these other people die, and this one girl survives for 13 hours hanging on to luggage.
Oh my God.
Isn't that crazy? Now you hear about talking about the dead. You know that the US government has, they call it 88811. It's a plan to
Okay.
deal with if there is a zombie eclipse.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Apocalypse. Is that fun? They actually have that plan in effect.
Well,
Right
good.
now.
I'm not offended by any plans. Plan away.
Okay,
That's good.
one of the issues that we've been talking about with people, it's very interesting what's going on with, they called, and then that Make America Healthy Again. And one of the
Oh,
big
yeah.
campaigns is to get rid of artificial flavors. As a mother,
Mm,
and that issue, artificial flavors, getting rid of that. And actually, there are a lot of companies that are doing it, like Mars said they're going to get rid of it.
mm,
And I think a few of the Coke, I think Coke was all the companies coming out with new, like, pure sugar instead
mm.
of corn syrup. How do you feel about all that stuff? I mean, growing up, I got to tell you the truth, I had all that garbage, Fruit Loops and everything else.
I mean, I'm not that crunchy of a mom. I feel like I still eat that shit. I'm not gonna lie. Like if I'm on set, my fingers, I gravitate towards that. If I'm like seeing crafty, I'm really not grabbing like the orange or, the banana. I mean, if I'm being honest, but like I think I wouldn't want to give that to my daughter. I am a little more weary when it comes to her, but I love her so much more than I love myself. That's natural. That's
Well,
normal.
is
That
it
makes sense.
is that, and this is a question, like they might have Coke with cane
Mm,
syrup and Coke with corn syrup. Would you
yeah,
specifically look for the Coke with cane syrup, or would you just say,
totally. If there's an alternative that tastes good, not like vegan where it like tastes like shit, but if there's like a real alternative thing, I'm down. I'm down. Of course, especially when it comes to my daughter, I'm down.
so you think that's a good campaign? You think that generally it's going to help people having these organic options in life and making it much more of a bigger thing.
I mean,
Okay,
how could it be a bad idea? Like I feel like, we complain so
I
much about
just it's just
healthcare, but it's like we're not taking care of our health. So it's like at some point we also have to like be responsible to an extent, right? Of how we take care of ourselves and what we expect the government to do for us.
the question is how we got there. How did we get to all these I mean, is the companies want to make them brighter red, brighter green, the colors are bigger? Is that what it is? All the marketing, or was it,
Yeah, companies still need to
it's
make money. That's how we get anywhere.
cheaper? The food was cheaper and stuff like that. And
It's
it's an
how
interesting.
anyone gets anywhere is they just want to make like that's always
And the interesting thing, we talked about advertising early, and I'm thinking about
yeah.
advertising myself, and I think there's sometimes positive and negative, positive and negatives. When you
Mm,
all of a sudden, when you have these advertisements and it makes you happier to buy
mm,
a product, you're actually excited to buy the new Swiffer dustpan that you find it, or you want to buy that shirt because in your head you're reflecting on some good-looking person that wore that. So when you wear that, you feel better about yourself almost. And
yeah.
it's because the advertising does it. At the same time, it might make us buy the Mountain Dew soda because they have really good ads versus the orange juice they want to do. It's an interesting thing. And then the
Yeah.
moral part about it is we do advertisements for anything, or the things you just say I can't do.
I think I've only ever turned down, which is really funny because like I don't know if I'd turn it down now, but I turned down a lot of like the what was it called? Like marijuana stuff. So like edibles and stuff. And this was like before I got into them. Now I really freely I'm probably like the biggest pothead I know, if I'm being honest. But like at the time, I was kind of like a lot more tightly wound, especially a few years ago. And I just was kind of like, oh no, I wanted to like only do beauty and like be known like for this like image. But I think I'm a lot more relaxed now. I think the only thing I'd say no is like smoking. Just because it's just not my thing. Like nothing against people. I mean, my father's European, like I get it, like smoke, whatever, but like it's not for me, it's not my thing. So maybe that's the only thing I would say no to. Yeah. I was a lot more strict before.
Interesting. Okay, I'm going to give you a number from 1 to 4. You're going to tell me you tell me which number you want, and it'll be the business idea I think of. Tell you about. Pick a number.
3.
3. Oh, this is a terrible idea. No, I'm just joking.
Oh,
No. So this is a business idea again. I always try. I give away all my ideas because as you get older, I'm not going to do everything in life. So maybe
I love it.
it's called the credit card analysis.
Mm.
So if you look at your credit card bill, which I don't as much as I should, there are a
Mhm.
lot of stupid things that we buy on a regular basis that we forget to take off for those. You get those little quote, try this, and you can cancel in 60 days, but we
Oh
hardly
yeah.
ever cancel it. And so the
Mhm.
credit card analysis would look at your credit card bill, right? And they
Mhm.
would tell you the things that you should not, maybe not do.
Okay.
And they would tell you, like, give you deals and better options to go out, and they'd get either a small little cut of some monies on the side with the credit card companies. And what do you think of that idea? A credit
I feel
card
like
analysis.
I feel like I've heard that it exists. I feel like I've heard of it. I feel like I've
Yeah, if they do exist, I can give you another idea. Or,
I just
or
feel like I
I,
feel like I've heard it, but maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, I'd love to get it because I just look at I can't look at it. It's just so nauseating. Like it's 30 pages, and
Yeah.
I don't like the type of person because I put everything on my credit card because of points, and
Oh
so I'm
yeah,
like,
me too. Yeah.
I love those points when it comes to traveling, so I always put it down there, and it's just so much that I love. Okay, I'll give you one more since you said you might
Okay.
have read that. Okay, now you got one, two, or 4.
Oh, okay, 1.
Okay, this is a good idea as an actor. It's called How Good, and this probably came out. I'm almost positive, but it's a reality show with a game show combination. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
they make people want to, let's say, be a good Samaritan, but
Oh,
how far will they go? So
okay.
let's say there's an old lady and she has some groceries that she has to take home. The person agrees to do that. But now the groceries are like 20 miles away that she's in a house.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a whole bunch of stairs. So each time it gets harder. And each time it gets harder, the person does it, they win more and more money until they get to the top level without knowing it.
I love that idea. That's an idea.
Thank
That's a
you.
show I
Thank you.
would
Uh,
watch.
Isn't it? And then before we could see how far people would go, it'd be nice.
So
And
you
then
said
in between other people.
that I can steal it? No, I'm joking.
No, no problem. Let's you,
So good.
I'm the type of person that you get it pushed, like you're a very good pusher, then I will be the type of person invested in it. There you go.
Oh, interesting.
All
That
right.
is a really good idea. How far would
Thank
you go?
you.
That's the
How
type.
far would you go? How far would you go?
Oh
And
yeah,
people
that's
on the
what
and people maybe people in the audience can bet how far this person would go to
oh
do it,
my
blah blah
God.
blah.
Okay, so you're not
You
allowed to air this part because like this, it's like this part we need to keep for ourselves. That's
know,
good.
thank you. So yeah, we'll see how thank you very much. Okay,
Oh
okay.
my God.
Now up to
I'm
so
gonna
now
ruminate.
so now up to things that I hate. You
Okay,
got an example again, 1 through 4. What number are you going to go with?
we'll do 4 now.
Oh, good, because I really want to go to 4.
Okay.
This is really drives me crazy.
Huh.
Coffee with sugar. Sugar. Now, I'm not talking about coffee with sugar when I ask for it. I'm talking about getting coffee with milk and then putting sugar in it. Every time I don't want it,
Mm.
I get me so annoyed. I'm wondering if you're diabetic how this happens. But every time they put sugar in my coffee, and I don't even know why it costs more money, either they're lazy or whatever. I found a solution now.
What's the solution?
Order the coffee black with milk on the
What did
side.
you say?
Order the coffee black with milk and sugar on the side.
Isn't that how coffee works or no?
No, they put the milk. Always ask you
I
for. Do you want
do.
milk and sugar in it?
Oh, I didn't know that. So
And,
I'm the
and
wrong
then once
person
and once
because I don't drink coffee, so I don't know these things. That makes
so
sense to me. That's way smarter
every time you get the coffee, they always put the milk and the sugar together. And I'm like,
because they don't want
please.
to be inconvenienced.
I
Like,
don't know why. I don't know why. It's just so annoying. I just
yeah,
don't. I got to the point where I generally don't like the taste of sugar, except it's
yeah,
really. I don't know what it is. I get sick of like unhealthy food doesn't even taste good to me like it used to. I
yeah,
used to love unhealthy food, but I
yeah.
don't like it anymore since I've been eating healthy. It's
Well, good
sort
for
of
you.
annoying.
I need to
No, I
get
know
on.
it's good. I don't know if it's good for me. It's sort of like annoying.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's
Okay,
good.
Thank you. Now
I
I
love
have another
that.
thing. Since you're in LA, I know they'll know this is like a weird thought, but it's like first thing that came out, I know when I was younger, very few people had tattoos. Then
Mm,
eventually people had tattoos, more tattoos. Then ladies had tattoos. Then it's like
mm,
everybody had tattoos.
mhm.
Now the big thing is these piercings. It used to be like one piercing, and now I'm like seeing triple nostrils, triple ears. It's like all over the place. These piercings, they're like eyes, they're piercing all over the places. I'm just like wondering what's gonna happen next. I mean, are they gonna put like brands on that? Everybody wants to get to next attention. So it's like,
Yeah,
it's all about tension, I think, and everyone wants to be
I
a little
think
bit
so.
different.
Yeah.
But it just honestly grosses me out.
Yeah. Um,
On the nose, one nose piercing's fine. I can deal with one, but then you got both sides of the eyes. I don't
yeah.
know. Are you finding that happening? California is very hip, so
Yeah, I mean, I think anything done to like an extreme is gonna elicit that kind of gross feeling you're talking about, right? Like if
tattoos. Go with tattoos. I like the tattoo look, so it's okay. It's fine with me watching. I mean, on the face is a little weird, but
yeah.
like, yeah, it's cool. If you want to put it on your body, I sort of get it. It's fine. I don't have many tattoos, but it looks okay to me. But these things, these piercings on your nose, like all over the place, the lips, and it's like it seems to be getting more and more popular.
Well, now I'm gonna cancel my appointment for my prison tats because you told me it's not a vibe. I'll just go ahead and cancel that. Yeah,
Now,
I mean, it's not my thing either.
as an actress, have you seen any movies and shows that have really blown your mind recently?
You know what? I will say I really want to watch
Other
the
other than other than I'm sorry, other than Seduction. Go
duh.
ahead.
Other than Seduction, I really want to watch Materialists, The Materialist with Dakota Johnson. And I just saw a bunch of like, ads on it, and I haven't been compelled to watch a film in a long time, which is really sad because I love films. So like, oh my gosh, that's the state of our films. But this one in particular, I'm like, that looks really interesting, and it's just
It's
kind of
about
like, well, it's about, I think she plays a matchmaker. I mean, don't quote me, I could be wrong, but from judging from the ads, it's looking like she plays a matchmaker. She's trying to match, she's in New York and she's trying to match people who have like really, really high standards. So I think like one of the ads was this guy was like, hey, take me off the list. I really don't like your work. And she's like, oh, that's so weird because the girl that I set you up with wants to see you again and she really enjoyed your company. And she's like, can I ask what happened? And he said, oh, she was disgusting. You told me that, you would send me someone beautiful and amazing and all of these things. And she was old and gross. And she was like, you said you were open to women in their 30s. And he goes, she was 39. That counts as 40. Don't send me anybody. And I was like, that's hilarious. Like things like that. I feel like that those are funny topics which speaking of living in LA, that's the shit I hear all the time. It's always around me. Every coffee shop I go to, it's oh, she didn't look like I got catfish. She didn't look like her Hinge photos and you know what I mean? And I'm like, "Wait, this is a movie that like is very now. It's very like right now, it's very current." So that's the one I would choose.
what is like some of your favorite movies or act scenes or acting that you really enjoyed? Anything that stands out that you like in your life that really
I'm a huge Steve Carell fan. So I like
no.
to turn my brain off and just laugh just because I feel so stressed out in my life. So I'm like, I just want to watch like dumb shit, but I want to watch stuff that's like really funny and I want to like laugh till my belly hurts. That's the kind of person I am. So like I mean, like he's been kind of out of the game for a bit, but like I will rewatch 40-Year-Old Virgin. I will rewatch The Office. Basically anything Steve Carell. And then sometimes I'm like really into very intense, Viola Davis. Like she's my favorite female actress, women like that who just like command space. That's the type of woman I like. So I'm like, oh, I love her. She's amazing. So any kind of film that she's in, really. So it's quite the dichotomy.
Well, I just saw a great movie called Weapons,
Oh,
and I was basically it makes me a little jealous
oh,
because the story is so good.
mm.
I'm like, wow, I didn't write this because every like horror movie, this they got the get the murderer, they
Oh, it's
got
a
the
horror
vampires,
film. Okay,
not yeah, but it's so different. It's such a different, and the characters are so well drawn up.
mm,
They're not so simplistic. And you just don't know where it's going. You don't, so many movies, you know where it's going. You really don't know where this movie's going to end up.
I like
There's
that.
some things, and the end is not unbelievable, but it's
Mm.
that's just so much of it's happening. It's so great. It's such a fun movie to watch.
Oh,
Um, yeah, it's Weapons is like the one of the best horror movies I've seen in a long time. And
I'm
there's
at,
some funny scenes in there too. Is that
I said I'll
is there
add it to
some
my list.
Yeah, there's some funny things going on. I was thinking about investments. We always do investments talk. And
Okay.
one of the things I think that's not a bad investment for people
Mm.
is to invest in like these studios like we have. We have a studio in Naya. I mean, people will invest in it because a lot of things happen. Like we went to the place where we saw the music, the recording studio that we worked, the
Yeah,
Laughing
I love
Factory.
that place.
That was the name of the name of the sounds like that. But that place, beautiful studio, and there's so much that can be done in those locations that sometimes somebody invests a few dollars in it and they use it for motion for like social media marketing. You could
Mhm.
bring up a business a lot.
Mm.
There is still such a need for that in the
Yeah.
sense if even actors need headshots, they can do
Yeah.
there and they can do music video. It just needs a lot of work that can be done in these type of studios type settings. So I think
Mm.
maybe it's something worth investing with people. What do you think?
I mean, I anything in the arts, I'm always gonna say yes. It's never a waste. It's never a waste. It like it keeps people like you and me alive, and we love it. So 100% invest in the arts. Anything to do with the arts, do it.
So you live in LA right now,
I do.
correct?
Yeah.
And so you meet everybody has a
Yeah.
story about it. Everybody like hypes themselves up. Is that sort of the story? Like everybody's like going to be in this big movie. Everyone's going to be a big.
Oh,
Do you see a lot of that? A lot of let's say BS that comes out that you see all the time.
did you say BS?
Yes, yes.
Um, well, it depends what you count as BS. Like I try not to be when it comes to
Not to you. I'm talking about. There's a
oh,
lot of I
no.
just.
But like I mean even in general, I feel like I try look when it comes to art, I try to be more open-minded and less judgmental because it does take a lot of guts to put stuff out there, you know? And so like maybe to you and I we think it's maybe not great, you know? And I think you and I have a little more experience, so I maybe our standards are higher, but I try not to look at things and go, well, that's bullshit or that's shit or like I am the kind of person like I mean just the other day I was telling my husband I like laughed so hard but there were these kids like shooting something on the side of the road. They were filming something, right? Like just guerrilla style. And I just was like my husband was like you're so obnoxious because I opened the window and I was like yeah film that shit. I was like go for it. You're in fucking LA. You're young. You go do that shit. And they were like woo. And that's like I think that's the energy that I love. That's actually what I love about LA is that people are not afraid to fail. You come here because you're not afraid to fail. Like, don't be afraid to fail, you know? Go film the bullshit. Because, like, maybe it'll, like, end up not being bullshit. A lot of times it is. A lot of times it'll, be embarrassing and terrible. And a lot of shit that we do sometimes is. But, like, that's the price you pay for being successful. You got to be willing to make a fool out of yourself. That's the price you pay.
And would you want? You have one daughter right now? Is
I
that correct?
do. Hmm.
And that one daughter, would you want is she into the arts? Is like you see to her and doing the same thing you want,
Well,
or
so
how
she's
she's?
only she's 10 months old.
Oh, so would you want her to go the same
She
way that
she is okay, and every mom will tell you that their kid is the most beautiful girl in the world, but like my daughter is legit the most beautiful girl in the world.
you're?
Like for real. And like she's already getting with me, of course, getting booked on like everything. We just did like a commercial together for it's called Baby Magic lotion. And we did that together. It was her first like full-on commercial. I will
Oh,
probably
wait a minute. I gotta ask you a question. How many acting lessons did she have since then?
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't think I'll do it again. Like I became such a biatch on set, which like I'm actually very chill. You've worked with me, and
Very chill, very chill.
right, I'm not like
Right,
a
yeah. No,
all.
no, no.
I'll do everything you tell me, and I
You,
don't.
you keep wanting water with lemon every 10 minutes. I'm
No
joking.
blue M&Ms, only the red. No, like I wasn't like, but like when I was
No.
on set, I was like, kind of like I was a little neurotic. I was like, why are there so many fucking lights on? Like, and like everything was just like so hot. And I was like, this is like very unethical. This is very cruel. I had no one to blame but myself. I brought her there and everybody was just doing their job. Like, who am I, to be an asshole? But I was like, yeah, like I was on set. I was like, I'll never do this again. And they were like, okay. And these are people who've worked with me before. And they were like, yeah, you don't seem like yourself. It's fine. Just don't bring her, and like, we'll just no more. Eulalia will not do she won't do this. And unless she's old enough to tell me she wants to, I'm not going to be doing this.
Right. So like you could see that it's the people with their kids in acting, it's really almost for themselves to some degree sometimes. Oh,
I don't know
just
how it could be for themselves because I thought it was for myself and I thought I would love it. I hated it. Like I felt like, oh my God, this is like there's so many when you're a mom, everything's like becomes like a safety hazard. So I'm thinking like if that drops on my daughter's head, I'm gonna murder everyone in here. If that falls on my daughter, I'm gonna murder everybody in here. If they don't give me water to feed my child, if they don't do this, I'm gonna be very fucking like it was just like why would I put myself and her in that position? Like, I don't want to bitch out all day. I don't want to be that kind of person. Like, I just didn't want anything to do with it.
right. And I guess she won't remember this when she's a little older.
She had a great time. Actually, she was smiling and
I know that's right.
they all kept saying she was the best
No,
kid they've ever.
I always wondered, like with babies and young kids, if they have like the natural talent. What was your first acting gig that you? What was your first acting gig that you ever did? Do you remember?
Oh, shit. It might have been something with like his name is Dame Dash. Do you know who that is? Like he's I guess he's bigger in like the hip hop community. He used to be with like Rockefeller Records. I think he was like Jay-Z's partner. Anyway, he like I met him in Hong Kong and so we shot like a short film. It was
How old
terrible.
were you then?
Huh? Oh, ooh, like
Oh
24?
no, okay. You didn't do anything like when a little kid, like in school plays and stuff. Do you remember that?
Oh, like that?
Yeah, probably.
Well, yeah, I like would play like a tree. I never got like a lead role. I would
See, my first role was as someone to get like well, I was played Arnold Horshack. It was a show called Welcome Back, Kotter. And I
Oh,
said, yeah, I was in second grade, I think, and I said, "Hello, how are you? My name is Arnold Horshack." I still remember that. And I get all my
that's
fan letters.
hilarious.
I think all the kids had to write fan letters, but it was my first. They had to write fan letters.
Ah,
But
so
and even
funny.
and even in those days, it was very politically correct because it was a guy. It was a character that was a guy character they had, but they felt
Uh-huh.
bad. The show had so many men in it that they had to make
Mm,
that character a woman. It was like so stupid.
so stupid. That's so
That
stupid.
make it was like it didn't fit at all with the story, but
Oh my
that was
God,
it.
that's
Even those days.
even
So
those days they were woke. No, I'm joking.
and it definitely. So if people want to know more about you and put you in those advertising and and stuff like that. How do they find out about what you do?
What do you mean? Like how?
Like what is social media, Instagram, all that
Oh,
stuff? How
oh
can we
yeah,
get
my
in touch with
Instagram.
you?
Okay. My handle is at Bianca W Stam. That's kind of all I have. I have a TikTok. I just do it to scroll. I don't really have any followers there. I gave my Instagram to someone the other day, like just in casual meeting, and they were like, "Whoa, why do you have so many followers?" And I was like, "I don't know. Like, I actually don't know." So I'm not like always on Instagram, but I'm there if you want to see obnoxious slideshows of my daughter, which is pretty basically all you're gonna get. It's for me.
So
I post
okay,
things to make me happy.
so I wanted to, and we always like to end with a happy note or a note to people think about.
Okay.
And so I'm going to end with one that I wrote actually today,
Mm,
and it's about they're here. And we all go through very, very difficult times, like you mentioned in your life. We all go back and forth. And but when you think about how you got here and
yeah.
your ancestors that struggled to get you to where you are today, the
Yeah.
people that had traveled, plus the darkening dogs. Hold on, I'm sorry. What's
It's
over?
okay. I didn't hear
Oh,
anything.
this is live. This is live, everybody. So the people that had to travel all the miles and in terms of going these boats and people that were slaves and people that went through hurricanes without electricity or any of that stuff. All the people that prayed that one day they would have a child like you in the
Yeah.
world, and now you're here. You could think about it how great it is that you're here and how many people
Yeah.
in the world got want you to get here. So when it's difficult, try to remember all the people that put you in that place, and maybe that'll give you hope during difficult times.
I think people
So
needed to hear that, Bud. And I wanted to add to that because somebody
sure.
told me this beautiful quote, and I think it fits exactly well with what you were talking about. Where if you ever look in the mirror and you don't like your face or you don't think that you're beautiful, just remember how many thousands of your ancestors, what was it called? Okay, I'm like butchering it. I'm
No,
not.
it's fine. Don't worry. It's fine.
Okay, but
So,
it's
so
like
make it your own. Make it
your
your own.
face is an accumulation of all of the faces of people who were in love that came before you. Does that make sense?
Sure. How many
And I
people?
think it's beautiful
Yeah, it was just like it's amazing because it's like everything had to be timed exactly right for you to be here at this moment. So
to make you.
who you are. Yeah. So remember that out to everybody. And thank you so much, Bianca, for being with us today. And we're all excited to see Seduction coming out very soon. And I'm just telling you, you were remarkable. You did such a great job. I mean, if people are going to hear that, and I'm sure when they hear that, they're going to be like, wait, this is the same person that was in the podcast because you played that role so well. And I can't imagine anybody who's not smart talent agent putting you in a role soon. So hopefully we
Oh,
can make sure
thank
that
you
happens.
so much. And I hope everybody
Pleasure.
watches it. It was such a good experience. You
Well,
guys,
listen to it. They can't really watch it.
I mean, you know what I mean. I hope they tune in, listen to it.
Well, there is some input that some people are going to try to make it a film. So we'll see if that comes along.
Oh,
We'll
I
see
like
how.
that.
All right. All the best. Thank you so much,
Oh,
Bianca. All
thank
the
you.
best. Thank you.
I'll catch
Thank you,
up with
everybody.
you soon.
Bye
Bye.
bye.